Howdy, fellow One Piecers. Welcome back into another prediction video. This time for chapter 1180. Oh, Imu has officially arrived. They've got the devil's fruit. The onslaught is about to begin, and you know exactly what we gotta do. We gotta drop our predictions for what we think we could see in the upcoming chapter of One Piece. And today, because this was a break week, I managed to bring in the one, the only, the legendary Parvision for another collab video. Before we get into 1180's predictions, you know exactly what we gotta do first. We do have to tackle the predictions we made for the previous chapter. So, getting right into things, I will not hold you guys here for too long. We'll speed through this so we can bring in Par. But these were our 9 predictions for 1179. And just to do this real quick, what color should we pick? Pink. Let's do pink. My first prediction for 1179 was that the Straw Hats were going to regroup. Depending on how you view regrouping, this did or did not happen. For me, though, I simply said that the Straw Hats would get some time to themselves and they'd hang out for a little bit. And that is pretty much what happened, right? They were wondering where Chopper is. Chopper's on top of Zoro's head. They're playing with Saint Summers' body. Sanji's over here hanging out with Killingham. You know, Jinbei, Frankie were making jokes about turning Usopp and Brook into robots. I would consider that the Straw Hats regrouping. Next, I thought that Brook and Gunko would have a scene, or Brook would simply talk about Gunko. This didn't happen. Brook is still down for the count, sad to say, but I think it is because, Oda is saving this interaction for later. Next up, I thought that Loki would get celebrated by the citizens of Elbaf, but lo and behold, this did not occur, at least yet. I do think by the end of Elbaf, of course, everybody will be singing Loki's praises, but this didn't happen last chapter. In fact, Loki is simply eating some food. He's eating a sandwich in front of the Owl Library, and you could argue that this actually happened in 1178, so there was no real point in putting this up here, which is why I also rated it super low on the percentage chart. But it is what it is. Next up, I was very confident that Imu would arrive. I saw the theories that Imu would go somewhere else. Oh, it doesn't make sense for them to come back. I was never of that mindset. I believed vehemently that Imu needed to show back up and that Oda was building this up right here. And I am so happy to be right. I mean, dude, here's the thing, right? Imagine those other theories came true. Imagine Imu, for some reason, just did not run it back on Elbaf. We would have not gotten that immaculate reveal that we got in chapter 1179 with Imu's face being shown for the very first time. It was worth it, guys. God damn it. Next, I theorized that the God Knights would be unleashed, that Imu would bring out their full potential. This didn't happen, but I do think that this will occur come next chapter. For the sake of just not repeating the same thing over and over and over and over, I'm not going to drop this as my prediction, but if Par puts that down, that's a different story. So next up, I said that if Imu arrived here in Elbaf, they would display enormous amounts of hockey, so much so that everybody would react to it. We might even get some Joyboy callbacks, and that's pretty much where we got this chapter. Of course, nobody uttered the words Joyboy, but Oda did dedicate around 14 individual panels to Imu's massive Conqueror's hockey. So yes, I do think that counts as over 9,000. So now, it is time to tackle the bottom row of the prediction sheet. And in case you're new here, the bottom row is typically from the comment section. The first commenter said that we would get revealed to who the Holy Land attacker actually is, and that it would also be Blackbeard. I didn't agree with the Blackbeard portion. I rated that pretty low. But as far as being revealed to the Holy Land attacker, I thought that could happen. And funny enough, they did mention that the situation in the Holy Land has been somewhat quelled thanks to Shamrock, but they're still dealing with the food shortage situation. And amongst all of that, we somehow did not get revealed to who actually attacked the Holy Land. Oda is dancing around that damn plot point. So now for the next comment, somebody said that Garling and or Shamrock would appear in the chapter and that they would offer to go to Elbaf themselves or alongside Imu. Shamrock did not appear, but Garling did appear, And of course, the Gorosei did offer to go in Imu's stead, so I'm going to count this as a victory here. So now, on to the last prediction. They said that we would get a breakaway chapter and that it might be focused on Eustace Captain Kidd. I thought that the Eustace Captain Kidd focus was a wish on a star. That was not happening. But as far as a breakaway chapter goes, I did put a stipulation here, which is why I rated it kind of low. But I said that this would not count Marie Joie. So I don't want to count this, even though we did break away from Elbaf. I mainly saw breakaway as like, oh, we spent time with Vivi, with Crossgill, with Dragon, with Shanxer, with the Grand Fleet. And that did not happen last chapter. Here we have it. 4 out of 9 predictions came true. Love to see it. And now on to the 1180 predictions with everybody's favorite Indian, the legendary theorist, Parvision. As I said just a second ago, we got the legendary theorist Parvision with us today. Thank you, Parvision, for joining us again on the spoiler channel. Again, people here effing love you, even though you don't read spoilers yourself. But we're not here for spoiler talk. We're here to predict what the spoilers dash chapter have instead. And Par, just to rip off that band-aid, what is your first prediction?
All right, this one's a lame one, but I just want to get this one. I want to take it for myself here. It's an Emu declaration and speech.
Emu speech. Are you expecting anything specific from the speech?
I'm expecting like something like Madara level, like Doflamingo at Marineford.
So just aura farming, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then alongside that, like I would imagine like a declaration, like the things kind of like in Egghead, where there's like, oh, we need the Labo phase, the Mother Flame, and then a Vegapunk, right? Like something along those lines. We already have a few of them, which is like the kids, the Elbaf will be mine, and I'm gonna get the Holy Knights back. I feel like we're gonna get another one of those things facing Luffy, Loki, and Elbaf in general. So yeah, that's the first prediction.
I like that. For my first one, I'm gonna say that Emu one-shots a named character.
Okay, can I just give mine right off the bat then?
What is it?
Okay, my prediction, and this kind of confuddles our thing, but I love messing with this board. Any way to tank our score from being... I mean, this was a hard chapter to predict, but this is what I wrote. This is my number 2. I said Jarul is attacked or killed, and I think that if he is the character to die.
That's so fast. He dies one chapter in? Oh, that'd be foul.
So the reason why is I think that a lot of, especially post time skip, but the time skip has, arcs in general, have been taking out the old and putting in the new. And I think that last arc is heavy on that. Vegapunk died pretty early on, relatively, in terms of when the Gorosei showed up. He died pretty much instantly. And then it was kind of like, is he dead? Like, what constitutes death, right? And yeah, Vegapunks, whatever, but Stella got donutted immediately, off rip, and twice. He got stabbed twice. And Jarul has been the objective. He has been the objective, the declaration. As soon as Imu showed up, kill Jarul. That was the declaration. That was the first thing Imu said. And I think because Jarul is right here, Jarul is front and center where the domain is. I think that Jarul is the character, the old character that dies, that has a lot of weight to it. But it's also kind of one of those things where it's like, it doesn't really matter. We've been waiting for Jarul to do something. And it's kind of like, Jarul already did his job. All the giants who are here are all Jarul's creation one way or the other. That is what the giant pirates have said, right? They felt so ashamed at the thought that they were gunning for Jarul's head that they were willing to seppuku. And so it's kind of, I feel like Jarul, if it's not next chapter, and don't put this as part of the prediction, because I want the sauce. I want the one shot to be Jarul. I want the
I
straight
believe in
through
the
him.
one shot. I don't think Jarl's gonna die right away though. Like we're talking about the strongest man who ever graced
300
this
years
earth.
ago.
But that's the thing, man. Like I want him to at least
Jarl-
land a couple of good blows, you know, show why he's him, and then die. I'm cool with Jarl dying, but just like not in one shot. When I'm thinking about one-shotting a named character, I was thinking about like, you know, Gerd or Stanson, Iredon, or something like that. Or maybe even Frankie, right? Like just Jarl?
Wait, oh, so when you said one shot, you didn't mean like they'd be dead, you know?
Yeah,
You didn't
no.
think
I
that,
meant like
yeah.
one shot gets knocked unconscious or like knocked all the way to like the coast of Elbaf. We don't see him for a while.
I want Jarl dead, and I agree with you that maybe it's too fast. Maybe he needs to do something. Maybe next chapter he does do that something. Maybe we see it like a little bit, but Imu just does like what I pictured when I wrote this was Lucci Sentamaru. Just
Yeah. See, I'd consider that a one shot, but of course, Sentamaru did die.
Yeah.
It's more like one shot puts them away for like a substantial amount of time. I guess that's a better way to look at one shots, in my opinion.
I agree with you, but the difference is I don't think Jarl has the comeback like potential. Meaning like Sentamaru's young, so he comes back. But it's kind of like Jarul, right? Jarul was like he got injured by Big
Jarl
Mom.
is 408 years young, though, is he not?
Man, the senior citizen centers love Psy.
Yeah. You gotta be nuts with these old folk, man. Yeah, he's not old. He's still young, man. Come on.
Now I know how your channel survived, bro. You're getting the
I'm hitting up the
security
older
checks.
demographic. Let me tell you, I get all the candy.
Crazy, dude. But yeah, I think like I love Jarl as a character. It's not. I'm not saying I want him dead because I don't like him.
What do you love about Jarl as a character?
He just had the aura, bro. When he was just like, when they said go after Jarl, then he started showing up. He's like all the quotes of like
how so?
Elbaf,
what did he do?
Standing up, and he's super big on screen, bro.
Wow,
he hasn't done anything.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, you're hella mean, bro. What do you want from a 408-year-old
man. Like, I wanted Jarl to be that guy. Go back to the predictions. I was like, oh yeah, Jarl's gonna do something. Jarl's gonna look cool. He hasn't done anything, bro. Warriors don't run. Yeah, I guess they don't run, and they don't do anything either. They just stand still.
Hey,
bro.
Okay, he's gonna do one thing. Okay, he's gonna do one thing, then die. Okay, that if
I want him to do multiple things, then die. He's gotta have more than just like one shots. No, dude.
Think about Vegapunk.
Honestly, this guy
Stella kind of was similar. Stella was in a similar boat where he didn't really do much, and then he just died. And then we found out all the things that he did do after the fact. Right?
And then he came back to life.
I mean, Jarl doesn't got that.
Oh, what if... Okay, how about this? Jarl dies, and then it does like the whole Roxy Zebek Blackbeard thing, where it's like, oh, Jarl's soul and will gets transferred to Ilva.
Okay, I don't think Ilva, but that's where I think Hyrdin gets the will of Jarl, because that's what Ida was saying, right? Ida was like, Hyrdin will be the longest living giant. So I think ever since we got that line, I've been waiting for the mantle to be passed. I just don't know what that mantle is.
Ooh,
I'll be frank with you.
Jarl dies,
yeah,
and then Jarl's like, I'm dead anyways, pull the sword. And then Jarl picks up his father's blade and just goes fucking crazy.
Yeah, and then Lilith goes, I could have saved him had you not pulled that sword out of his head. And then Hyrdin's like,
No, Gerd would have been like, oh, I mean, he was gonna die any minute now. You know, Gerd's like, oh, Loki, it'll take months to heal. Yeah, Gerd's not a great doctor, man.
No, she got isekai'd from our world. That's what happened. Gerd is a real world doctor who goes into One Piece world. Yeah, they're dead. They're straight up dead. Pell, very dead. What?
Months
He's alive.
of bed rest and recovery is needed here. Whereas Chopper's just like, hey, take this like special medicine and you're fine. The Minks are like, hey, here you go. This is gonna just revive you, man. They got fucking senzu beans over there.
He's at 1%. Meanwhile, Loki, 10 chapters later? No, oh no, time the flashback was in between. But a few chapters later, Loki as giant dragon, completely fine, beating up Imu. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna take months now, Gerd? What were you saying about that? I need to see that. Where's Gerd to be like, oh,
Yeah, it's like we
this is
just
a new
erased
one
all
for
the
me.
Shamrock wounds almost, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if we'll, like,
They're not
have
there?
a point in the fight where Loki's like, if only Shamrock didn't stab me 50 times with, like, his Cerberus blades. Like, you know, like Zoro against, like,
Oh,
Kizaru,
God.
or, you know, Zoro versus, like, not Mihawk, but Arlong, where they're like, ooh, look
Yeah,
at these
Arlong.
wounds, man. Jeez, this
Yeah,
guy's human. For my next prediction, this is a weird one, but I wanted to go kind of outside the box with it. I said that the trees and houses, pretty much anything that Imu brings to life, will have special abilities outside of just, you know, chomp, 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 slap, slap, slap. I think they'll have something special about them besides that. Like maybe when they die, they explode. Maybe they spread like a plague. I think they're going to have like special abilities.
Okay, okay. I like that because I have another one that jumps off that one. I think that the kids are going to be captured by the houses, and they're going to do kind of like in the, I forgot what Big Mom's Forest was called.
The Seducing Woods.
Yeah, the point of that forest was it was kind of debilitating because they would constantly shift their position respective to the people, so it felt like the woods never ended. And I feel like that's what's going to happen to the houses. The kids are inside of a house and they lose track of which house it is, and so the kids are effectively captured and they're being taken to Imu via the houses, in a similar vein to what you were saying, like the houses there, they are going to have more abilities and be able to do stuff. I feel like they might have souls, you know what I mean? Like they're going to be able to speak to each other, coordinate with each other. There might even be a hierarchy. I agree, you know what I mean? Like, so.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the kids in the houses, because like we last saw that they're shuttling them into the houses, right? But last chapter, we saw that Colin and Olaf are still outside and they actually got knocked out due to Emu's Conqueror's hockey. And it's like, I guess they just like never made it fully inside.
They didn't throw him in. I mean, Colin would be fighting every person to stay outside because he's just about that life, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess in this instance, it was kind of like it probably saved him, you know?
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Hopefully, maybe. Theoretically. Theoretically.
So, my next prediction is that someone will mention the music, at least what they hear, right? Like the drums of liberation. I wonder what instrument is being played with Imu. I'm assuming drums as well, but it would be nice if somebody just mentioned, oh, like I recognize this sound. I've heard about this before. It's the war sound. It's the sound of death. It's the violins of destruction. The violins of violence would be pretty cool. Drums of oppression, you know, something like that. I hope that somebody mentions Imu's music. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I like that one. We talked about that on stream, on the podcast a little bit. So I do want that. What it like drums of liberation. I want the word. I want what Oda wants us to like umbrella this ability as. So I like, or not ability, but you know, their domain. And again, in a similar vein, I think the domain is very important. Like there's going to be a bubble, kind of like Birdcage, but like Emu Birdcage. And this one's probably wrong. I don't know. I don't know if I like it.
Nah, swing it, dude. We're here to be wrong.
I think that if you're inside it, you get Dami Reversied. I think that inside it, you get Dami Reversied, and the Abyss Marks are kind of like the Nami, the Big Mom Beaver card to the Seducing Forest. I think that the Abyss Marks are your way that the houses and everything don't affect you and they don't go after you. But anything inside the domain, which is odd, you get Dami Reversied.
Like even the giants or just the like inanimate objects and stuff.
That's where I was thinking that I said, this is what I wrote. I said re-Dami Reversied. And what I meant by that is if they were Dami Reversied, they get Dami Reversied again. But if you weren't Dami Reversied, then you don't get Dami Reversied. But I don't know. I don't know per se.
I'd hate that. I mean, it makes sense. But fuck, man. We just left Dami Reversied, man. Stop it. Ah! I mean, granted, we have Chopper, and Chopper can, like, cure everything. But I feel like it's just, like, I don't know.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like inside. I feel like it's one of those things where inside the circle, the weaknesses are taken away. And so it's kind of like in domain expansion where it's like the closer you are into the middle of it, the stronger it is. If there's a concrete barrier, you know what I mean? Then it's kind of, yeah, I was thinking like birdcage, like inside the cage, like Dofi is king. So inside Emu's like realm, Emu is king, and so everything inside is within their awakening kind of. If Chopper were inside and immune to the curse, could he flip back people inside? I don't even know. I don't know if that's how it would work.
If he's the forest god, he should be able to. And maybe this is, you know, as much as I say I don't want this to happen, if we do get Domiverse again and Emu witnesses that a counter is here like Chopper, we could get the whole revelation like, oh, they have him on their side. Okay, this is not going to work. Like, I think this would be a good place to explain Chopper's ability. So, as adverse as I am to Domiverse and as sick as I am of this ability, there are benefits to it, and I wouldn't hate it if we get the Chopper reveal like this.
I also feel that the other reason why I think this is the case is because the Holy Knights are captured still, and so who are the minions? Is Emu going to do everything themselves, or are they going to do the Doflamingo where they say like get this person and get that person? Jarul is already there, and I think that Jarul is going to be the target that Emu gets. But like I feel that reversing them and then saying go after Usopp, and if Chopper gets noticed, go after Chopper, right? And then boom, you have a bunch of Damiverses going after them, or maybe it's like avoid Chopper. Don't go after him. Go after everyone else. I'll take care of Chopper, which would be insane. But hey, if going after the doctor, going after the support character, that's a tactic. You know, you have to go after Soraka.
Oh, I was saying the same thing. I was like, yeah, get Soraka out of here. Get that Pike out of here. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's literally Soraka Pike. Like it's an one hit tap and they can clear house. So it's like you gotta, and they can heal. So it's like, or heal others. So
yeah,
I feel like Redomir is in there.
So for my next one, this is gonna be a little bit silly, but I don't know how, when, why, where. I think this is a two-parter. You know, I just wanted to like throw two of them in here, so apologies in advance. I think that Emu will have a snake and or magic blast ability.
Oh. Snake, like as in a physical snake, or like you mean magic blast snake? Like it's like you're saying that their ability is like the form of a snake, named after a snake, like that kind of thing?
It could be an actual snake.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Orochimaru.
Okay. What? Yeah. So like I get the magic blast, like the big beam, whatever thing. But what's the reason behind the snake? That interests me.
Snakes are like these creatures, right? They're on the ground, reptilian, sometimes kind of, very slick. Okay. And I just think they look cool.
Okay, all right. That's one way to get there, I guess.
Kidding. Hellfire Serpent. I do like the idea of like the karmic Hellfire Serpent. So maybe we get like a prelude to that. Like, oh, here's like mini snakes that serve the Hellfire Serpent. And plus, like the whole thing about sin, right? It almost feels like Oda's going the biblical route with the Adam and Eve tree, and then of course the devil fruit, like the forbidden apple and shit. Like the snake is a key depiction of the devil, of temptation. And I'm not religious at all, by the way. I just, common knowledge, right? But I do like the idea that Emu has some sort of snake-like ability. And maybe we see like it manifests like, oh, here's a magic circle. Here comes like a bunch of snakes that wrap around you and stop you from doing stuff. I just feel like it makes sense. Snakes and devils are often tied together. So I think I'm just throwing out this weird snake idea. And we haven't really had a snake user in the series, minus the Boa Hancock sisters, but their snakes are just like their hair and their tails. Like they don't really use snakes. Like give us the snakes, brother. Gotcha. And maybe it's like a nice tie to Amazon Lily, even like by the end. Like this could tie Emu to Amazon Lily back during the Void Century. Like, oh yeah, Emu visited them, or maybe Emu has some ties to them. That's where he got his snakes from. I feel like snakes are going to be a big thing either here or later down the road. Now the ball is in your court with your final ultimate prediction that you have to get right.
Okay, so I had two options, and if it's the one I have to get right, then the one I think makes sense, and it doesn't sound crazy, but I think it's the ramifications of it. because it counters what I thought prior. I think the Holy Knights are still captured next chapter. Like they're still in this
No!
state. Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say the Holy Knights get buffed again because I really want to put that prediction down, but I put that down for last week. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it again unless Parr, puts it himself, but you're going the opposite
Yeah.
route. I can't believe it.
Yeah, because so the reason why is, well, it didn't happen yet, as I predicted and I tried to predict prior. Oda flipped the tables, but the thing is, they are objectives now. I think that they are objectives, and the way Emu's kind of handled themselves is like they are strong. They don't want to put them in harm's way. So like, kill Summers is an interesting one because of where he's at. I'm curious to know how the Giants handle him because he's in the village. So that's where I think I could mainly be wrong because Sommers is in the village in the domain already. So maybe he does get buffed. But Killingham's on the opposite side. He's so far out. And I don't think that he gets the benefit of the buff that far out. And I feel like because he's an objective, like Emu's going to make sure he gets them. And I think that Emu on one side doesn't care about the Holy Knights, but I do think that they do care. And I think that line for me comes from the amount of safety Emu gives them. And I said the word coddles. Like, I feel like a lot of the detriment of the Holy Knights is because Emu coddles them. And the Elbaf situation, losing Harold and not sending any investigation for 14 years, and then even at this point on Elbaf, showing up personally via Gunko, and then showing up again yourself against the Gorosei. I think that, and also Emu did say that Elbaf should be treated as if they're always be oppositional, right? So what is Emu here for? The kids were here to get Elbaf under their side. Well, if they don't have any plans to get Elbaf under their side in the long game, then the main objective is Luffy, Loki, and then also the Holy Knights,
Ooh,
So
do you think Emu's gonna be very friendly with them? I think we're gonna see like a really cringe to say in 2026. This is a thing from like a decade ago. Kawaii side of Emu. Like, imagine that. Emu goes up to Killingham. What did they do to you? Summers! Your heart! Ooh. Like, that'd be great.
No.
Like, he just goes around like, no, like, Summers, tell me who did this to you. And then he says Gerd. And then here comes Gerd. And then Emu just...
The way Luffy was with Brook and Usopp, Emu about to be pissed. And I think we need pissed Emu. And the thing is, they're in the Itachi pose for a reason, right? And if they are an objective, then that means that they can't be recaptured next chapter. I that's just the way I see it. Sommers is the question mark. Killingham, I'm more confident on just because of where he's at and the circle that we see. But it could be that like, hey, the Giants start running, so maybe Sommers is out.
I want to put this, so I'm going to give myself a fifth prediction too. I'm going to share your middle spot because, the middle spot in bingo is usually a free space. I'm going to put, for my last one, Emu cares about the God Knights. Like,
I like that.
He's the Nakama guy, He's like Luffy.
Yeah, and we see that from like Blackbeard doesn't care about his crew, but they hang out like his crew. You know what I mean? Like, we saw so many times where it's like they feel like the Straw Hats. And it's not like, oh, like, would Blackbeard give up his life for countering Devon? I don't know. I don't think so. But do they party like they? Yeah, he wouldn't, right? So, but like Emu seems like when Luffy showed up and said to Loki, I'm pissed now. I think that's what we're gonna get from Emu, and like a genuine like, who did this to you, Kinemon? Who did this to Usopp? I think we're gonna get that. I think so. And so in that light, it wouldn't make sense that they're recaptured by then,
And it doesn't have to be like a thing where like he outright says it. I think he can also just show that he cares about the God Knights through action. Like, maybe the first thing he does is go to St. Sommers or Killingham to save them. And he doesn't have to like say anything like, oh, I was worried about you. No. It can simply be like, oh, he helps them, he gets them out of their situation, he picks them up, maybe like words of encouragement, which I would consider that like a big sign of affection as well. Like, I mean, affection in quotation marks. Kind of like what Emu-Gunko said to Killingham when he first came to Elbaf. He was like, hey, Killingham, is this all your nightmares can do? Like, I thought you could do more. And then killing him says, on it,
Mhm.
boss. Actually, I can get these guys up right away. I just want Imu to inspire the God Knights and hype them up himself. He inspires the troops.
Yeah.
They respect him. He respects them. I think it could be a nice give-take relationship.
Whatever abilities you saw out of Imu, I kind of look at it as Luffy's gonna get there in Gear 5. Like, he's gonna have everything laughing around him, everything white, everything rising with light rays from the sun kind of vibes. And so in that version, why wouldn't it be the opposite too, where Imu also shows like an emotional spectrum like Luffy, and the way that the Nakama are like Luffy, right? It's probably we're gonna see two sides of the same coin through and through, from ability to personality to friends and everything. And that will make it a lot harder for us to like contemplate who the evil person is, right? When we go back to the Void Century, that's something that everybody's kind of like grappled with, like, oh, was Imu on the good side back then? Like, were they the revs of the Void Century? Like, you know, the 20 kings, like maybe they were justified in what they were doing, right? So I think it would make sense if Imu has a care for their, you know, denizens. And I already said this off of looks, but Emu's a person I would follow too if I was like,
100%. Like, based on appearance, Emu's probably the one person I would follow willingly. Like Kaido, I'm like, maybe I think I picked Kaido beforehand. But I was like, yeah, not really Big Mom, not really Shanks, Luffy, probably not. But Imu, I don't know, dude. Like, I follow a leader like that. Come on.
Yeah, it's like what King said to Kaido. Like, it doesn't matter about the Joyboy stuff. I follow you, Captain. And it's like, that was a very consolidated version of what we're saying here, where it's just like, do I believe in this guy? Like, just off of looks, he looks believable.
And, you know, he's been around for 900 years. And plus, you know, another way to look at this too is that Imu gave these God Knights the Mark of the Abyss. He's trusting them with a part of his life and powers. Like, if they die, Imu takes damage. So to some extent, Imu does cherish these people. Like, as crazy as Saint Summers is, you know, he's like, oh, I don't want Saint Summers to die. Like, he picked Saint Summers to be the representative of the Ibi no Mi and, you know, all this shit. So I believe in it. But there we have it, you guys. We got our 10 predictions on the board. Hopefully, you know, now that we have Par back here, we get a lot of these right. I'm crossing my fingers and all that good stuff. The brown, of course, again, is Par Vision, and the yellow is me. So do not forget who is who. And with that being said, make sure to follow Par. He is now posting theories again here on YouTube. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you again, Par, for joining us. And
thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.